Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mindful and Mellow. Today is June 4th. So I thought in recognition of Pride Month, let's use the Pride Collective Tarot deck and we'll do just a general kind of intuitive tarot reading and see what comes up. If you don't remember this deck or haven't seen it before, it's a collaborative deck. So every card is illustrated by somebody with a LGBT community connection in some way, shape, or form. I should probably pull up that card, but they're all very different illustrations from what you traditionally see in the other tarot. So I think it is really kind of interesting and cool. So like you said, like every card that you can see is really, really different. I mean, there's not a lot of overlap or like similarities between all the cards. So they allowed all these artists to kind of use their, some of their intuition, some of their own creative inspiration to create like a card, understanding like what the card is supposed to mean, of course, but allow them to kind of use some of their own like their own creativity in these. So like very, very different cards, but like really kind of cool. So I haven't used these in a while, so let's just jump right into that. So we'll pull a handful of cards and we'll see what comes up. All right, so the first card we have is the Five of Cups. We have the Six of Cups. All right, so 5 and 6 next to each other. That's interesting. The Six of Swords. Moving on to Common Waters. Ooh, then we have the Five of Swords. Okay, so we have 5 and 6 of Cups, 5 and 6 of Swords. That's really interesting. We have the World. We have the Eight of Cups, so moving on. Okay, so both of these cards are both about moving on to something new, leaving something behind, moving on to Common Waters, moving away from something, moving on to something new, leaving something behind, leaving behind these 8 cups. Let's pull eight of Pentacles. So we have another 8. And we have the 4 of Cups. All right, so yeah, this is really interesting. I've got some interesting thoughts on these cards here. So first and foremost, we have the 5 and the 6 of Cups. So, I mean, this is kind of like maybe you're moving past some sort of a heartbreak, but this might have been heartbreak with somebody coming back into your life. So, I mean, if somebody's coming back, and that's kind of what I'm getting with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a little bit of nostalgia. Can also be like focusing on the past and, things of, prior relationships. And the Five of Cups can be a little bit of like a heartbreak, could be a little bit of like, someone who's broken your heart is either coming back around, or it's somebody from your past has connected in a new way, and maybe not the greatest fit for you is kind of what I'm getting. You're not completely like thrilled with the way things are going there. It's kind of what I'm feeling, and hence you're kind of moving on. This is kind of like that, moving on to calmer waters and moving away from something. So, maybe somebody's come back and you've been like, oh, this is not good. You were bad news years ago and you're still bad news. I don't know. Because the Six of Swords, again, like they're in a little boat. There's calm waters and they're quietly moving away, but this company, there's someone kind of watching over her, and all these swords are in this kind of behind them. And of course, the Eight of Cups is about kind of like stepping into a new you. Like and I'm getting that now. Like, of course, he is on a set of stairs here. So, but kind of like stepping into the new you. Who are you? This is like the opportunity to ask that question. Be like, who are you? Step into the new you. Leave whatever behind is not serving you as we kind of approach like the middle of the year. We're approaching the summer equinox and everything else, right? Definitely kind of the vibe that I get there. The Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. I mean, frankly, these together, fives can just be an indication of change too, right? Although there's, sadness expressed in the Five of Cups. The Five of Swords is kind of like he's kind of taken control of the sword and he's holding the sword up. So it could be like moving from a period of like maybe depression or sadness or something, and getting some clarity and kind of getting the willpower is what's just coming to me. The willpower to kind of like, call it, time to move on. Like you're like, hey, I can't like wallow in my own self-pity here. I'm kind of getting that too. So, if you have been kind of wallowing in self-pity, let's call it, this might be the call to action to like snap out of it. You can't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. So if we look at the cards in this connection here, and the Four of Cups is just kind of like the five. So we have the 4, 5, and 6 of Cups. Okay. So the Four of Cups is kind of like being very comfortable. So, this could have been somebody from the past, brought about some sadness, but you were with them because you felt comfortable with them. So, this could also be kind of getting the gears going in your mind. Are you in a situation where you're just comfortable in a situation? And maybe you're kind of being called, maybe this is kind of like that call, that nudge, if you will, from the universe to say, comfort is a great thing in a lot of ways, but comfort can also kind of let us, be less than satisfied with the way things are. Like, and we'll just, and just allow us to remain in a job, a relationship, a location, something, without taking, action and moving forward to get out of it. Okay. So, this could be that call to action too. So every time I look at these cards, I feel like there's something else that comes to me. So, definitely kind of getting that. This is definitely about moving on. So I definitely am getting a strong, like, moving on nudge as we go over to the right-hand side. So, but in the middle of this, we have the world. So the world is about finality and kind of like, a cycle coming to fruition, but it's also about like the completion, like you've made it, so this could be almost going like in a clockwise position, saying, the sadness and the focus on nostalgia, and then maybe some of the staying in a bad situation, but all of a sudden you're snapping out of it with this five of swords. I really feel like you're snapping out, getting out of something and then moving on, and it's going to bring you kind of full circle to the point where, that's finished. It's over and done with, and you're starting all over again. You kind of made it through this period of time, and you're moving on to something new. So you can be open and receptive to something brand new and exciting, The Eight of Pentacles is also about like taking your attention and focus onto something primarily work related. This could be like nose to the grindstone, honing a craft. And this kind of goes in conjunction with the Eight of Cups, right? So this is all about moving on, focusing on things that you really like. So if you do find yourself in a position, and it's interesting to me as I think about this out loud, that it appeared right next to the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is just kind of being like blah, just kind of accepting what is and kind of, being comfortable, right? But the Eight of Pentacles is a little bit more about like honing your craft, but also kind of being passionate about what you're doing. So ask yourself, do I like what I'm doing? Do I like the life that I'm living? Do I like the job that I have? And if the answer is no, you probably really do have to start thinking about like, well, how do I move on? How do I move on to something better? How do I move away from something that's less volatile, less, if it's a relationship or job? How do I move on to something behind that serves me better, that fits in with my desires, my needs, and everything else, right? This is kind of like I said, we're kind of approaching the mid-year. This is the great time to kind of do that gut check and assess kind of like what's working in my life and what isn't, and what kind of change, and where am I just kind of coasting, okay? So yeah, kind of like, a little bit of a weird reading, but I do like all these themes. I can't think of another scenario when I've had the 4, the 5, and the 6 of Cups come up in close proximity, nor can I think of a scenario where I had the 5 and the 6 of Cups and the 5 and the 6 of Swords come up. So to me, and then we get the 2 8s, there's a lot of, this is like reinforcing those needs, right? It's reinforcing those scenarios. 5 and 6, though, you're moving in the right direction, right? 5 steps into 6. So, there is definitely some taking the right steps. I'm definitely getting that call to action, call to like, hey, it's like, this is a wake-up call. Check around. Make some decisions about your life, kind of do that mid-year assessment, if you will, all right? I'm going to pull 2 cards from the Robin Wood Tarot deck, just to kind of see if I can get some additional. I just want to get 2 themes. I'm trying not to make all these cards like fly on the table here. Let's just pull 2 cards and kind of see what thematically comes up. Okay, so the moon. Okay, so if something is lying beneath, maybe there's some ripples, maybe there's an undercurrent or undertow, should I say? I'm kind of getting with these ripples in the water here. So there might be something kind of brewing kind of within you or somewhere that's calling you to take some sort of action. So what is that? What What action? What are you being called to do? Okay, because there's maybe an opportunity presenting itself to you, or there's some sort of like an idea that's kind of in your mind, and I just kind of feel like this is that, there's something brewing inside of you, and there's like a call to action here. So, there's an opportunity there, something that you've been thinking about doing that you just haven't done, and you've been kind of staying in this 4 of Cups, maybe the 5 of Cups state, and it's just not serving you anymore. So, take some time, think about that, and determine, hey, what do I need to move on from? What do I need to leave behind? And what is it that I truly want to do? And am I truly happy with everything that's going on in my life right now? There's nothing wrong, I don't think, with questioning that every once in a while, right? So with that, I thank you for being here, and I'll be back again real soon.